Welcome, third graders. Today's learning target is I can read page 17 of Earth's Water and find the gist of an informative text. Today you will read page 17 of the text Earth's Water, find the gist, and identify unfamiliar words. You will need the Earth's Water text, journal page 13 for day 23, and a pencil. Let's read this quote. Water quote. It is easy to take something for granted when it is always there. In places rich with clean water resources, there are watered lawns, clean cars, and long showers. Comprehending the global need for water is difficult. The tap turns, the water comes out. It is unimaginable to even think of walking great distances every day to throw a bucket into a swamp and call what comes out drinking water. More than 1 billion people in the world are currently in need of clean drinking water. A word I noticed in that quote was granted. Granted means fail to appreciate something or thankful for something. We do not appreciate that we have water to drink. Talk about it with your family member or friend. The following question. What is the author trying to tell us about water? Pause the video. Now, let's write about it. In your journal on day 23, write your response to the question about the water quote. What is the author of the quote trying to tell us about water? Use notebook paper if you need more space. Now, let's read our text. Earth's water. Water everywhere. Water fills oceans, lakes, and ponds, and it flows in rivers, streams, and underground. It is even in the air. Frozen water is found on some parts of Earth as snow and ice. Water covers over 2/3 of Earth's surface. Salt water in the ocean makes up most of Earth's water. Earth has much less fresh water. Many plants and animals need fresh water to survive. Some of this fresh water is above ground, while other fresh water is groundwater underneath Earth's surface. What are some ways you use Earth's water? While you were reading, you may have come across unfamiliar words. Unfamiliar words are new words to you. You use clues from the text to help you define them. An unfamiliar word I saw was survive. The text has the sentence, many plants and animals need fresh water to survive. The sentence says plants and animals need fresh water. What does survive mean? Talk about it with your family member or friend. What survive means. Pause the video. Now, let's write about it. In your journal on day 23, record your unfamiliar vocabulary and meaning in the section for water everywhere. Pause video. Now, let's read the second section. Different forms of water. Liquid water is the most common state of water on Earth. When you pour liquid water into a container, it takes the shape of that container. Liquid water is always moving, even if you can't see it move. Water moves in rivers and streams due to currents, the constant flow of moving water. Lakes and ponds are standing bodies of water. The liquid water in them moves slowly. Surface and underwater currents cause ocean water to move, with waves forming and crashing. Winds, the moon, and the sun affect the strength of ocean currents. Not all water is liquid. When liquid water gets very cold, it freezes and forms ice. Ice is another state of water, solid water. Ice can float on liquid water. People form ice into different shapes. You've probably made ice cubes to cool down a drink. Artists even form ice sculptures. Much of Earth's frozen water is at the North and South Poles, the coldest areas on Earth. The most common place to find glaciers are at the poles. These huge masses of ice store much of Earth's fresh water. Some of Earth's water is an invisible state as a gas called water vapor. While it's always invisible, water vapor is all around us. When it is hot outside, more water vapor fills the air than when it is cold outside. Humidity is the amount of water vapor in the air. On hot and humid days, the air feels thick with lots of water vapor concentrated in the air. While I was reading that section, I saw an unfamiliar word, invisible. The sentence from the text says, while it is always invisible, water is all around us. Invisible has the word visible in it. I know that word is to see. What does invisible mean? Talk about it with your family member or friend. What does invisible mean? Pause the video. Now let's write about it. In your journal, on page 13 for day 23, record your unfamiliar vocabulary and meaning in this section for different forms of water. Pause video. Now it's time to think about the gist. The gist is a summary of the text you are reading. When you write the gist, share the big points the author wants you to understand from reading. These questions will help you come up with your gist for the text that you read. Why must we act now to protect our water supply? What point is the author making in this section? What reasons or evidence does the author use? Talk about these questions with your family member or friend. Pause the video while you talk. Now it's time to write about it. In your journal on page 13, on day 23, record the gist for each section. If you need more space, please use notebook paper.